All right, welcome back. Brett here with clickmail.co. So in this video, we are going to be building our first trigger, and we build the trigger with variables. And so we're going to look in here, and the first thing that I want to show you that you'll notice, and you'll notice here that the variable is a Lego brick. Why? Because we stack multiple variables. We said conditions when we were talking. We set multiple variables or conditions together to make a custom trigger. So we have to make our triggers custom. So let's go ahead. We're going to go to variables here. And we are going to do this real time. So the first thing that we want to do is we're going to track a button on our new home page. And so the first thing I'll probably do is pull up that home page within the site we're working on. So we're going to go to pages. Zach, are you good if I go ahead and pull up home page?
You should be good to go. The button
Okay.
is still linked to quick clicks, so you'll need to unlink
That's
it.
okay.
But other than that, it's good to
Well,
go.
it doesn't matter. We're just going to track the button ID. We can link it somewhere else later. Can you save it and I will take over the editing?
You're good to go.
I
I'm
just
not
need
in
to
there right
view
now.
it, actually. I don't even need to do that. Okay. So this is the home page. This is a mock page that we're going to be building. Well, I guess this isn't a mock page, but right now we are setting up a mock tag so that we can see how it works. So here we are. We have a button that we want to track, and this is what we are going to be focusing in on. So Neil, I'm just going to have you join me in this and make sure we're going through this properly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to inspect this and start looking for what we can track so we know what to set for our variables, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So when we inspect an element on a page, we're looking for data that we can be pulling into Google Tag Manager, things that identify this button as unique. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to look at the developer tools. And if you haven't seen developer tools before, the first time I saw it, I thought I broke the internet. I thought I was hacking something. So don't panic. That's always rule one. You can't change anything in here. This is just what's behind the page that your web browser is putting together into a picture. So this is HTML code, CSS code, and JavaScript code. Now, this button right here, you'll notice we have, I can't zoom in on this, but we have the entire button code here. And we've got, and Neil, you tell me what you think we should track. I see exact text here, get my free marketing strategy. And that should say strategy session at least, but I see a class. Neil, you tell me what you want to go with, and I will follow your lead on that one. There we go. We got a path.
Yeah. Are you able to send me the
With the link?
Yeah, the link.
Yeah. Also, Zach, it does look like we're showing up at omniautomation.wp engine powered still. So that is not transferred over to the primary domain. All right. I'm sending that over to you. Go ahead.
If you type in omniautomation.ai, it shows up.
Okay, that's cool. I don't know if I typed in the wrong one. I'm just going to do it while Neil's pulling that up. AI. Maybe I just typed in the wrong one. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So again, looking at the developer view and getting that reselect. Now you notice if you go up and down here while I'm sharing, you can highlight all kinds of elements on the page. If I want to track someone scrolling over the headline, I can track that. I just have to find something in the code here that identifies that. Now, going back to the button, Neil, have you found anything within that button text? I did put the link to the website in the chat for you. Yeah, let me know if you find anything specific that we can be tracking. And if you're watching this, this is just a real-time build. We're actually going through the setup process, and there's going to be a little bit of hunting involved. These videos will probably be a little bit longer than the initial videos where we're just defining terms. And so you're going to get a feel for what it's actually like to build, because this is a real build. So coming over here, variables. So while Neil is looking through, Neil, interrupt me when you find what you want to track. But when we configure this, you'll notice there are tons of variables. And remember, these are variables. Variables are conditions, things that we can use to track. Now, in the case of clicks, most likely we are going to be tracking something like an element, class, ID, target, URL, or text. All right. Now we can also go in. So for example, ID, if Neil is not finding something he wants to track, we can edit that button with say Elementor, and we can put a CSS ID in it that he can then track. So we can set this up however we need to, but these are words that appear in the code that we can pull from. So click text was something I was looking at. And coming back over here, there we go. When I see the text, you can see Elementor button text, but that is not an available variable. That has to say click text. And so maybe Neil knows, but I am not exactly sure how we would grab that exact string of words here, get my free marketing strategy. I'm not exactly sure how we would track that because it doesn't say click text. It just says it's a class. So the class isn't really unique. All of the button classes are going to have a button text. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Neil, are you finding anything over there that is looking like it's going to work for you?
I'm looking at Elementor button content wrapper. Okay, we could try click class, but I'm not really sure if that would actually work. You could try that.
I think the click class on all of the buttons is the same. It just says button text. So I think if we track that, we'll probably get every button.
No, I mean like Elementor button content wrapper.
Okay. Okay. And show me where that is in the code. Can you navigate me to that just so I can show it on the screen?
So yeah, it's actually there.
Up here?
No. Scroll, move it a little bit down.
Okay. Right here?
Nope, just right below that. Yep.
This one. Okay. So the class is Elementor button content wrapper.
Yeah. So try copying that and use that as a what do you call this?
Copy element.
As a trigger, or yeah, like as a variable.
Okay. So we're going to copy that. And so right here, Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are going to be tracking a class, a specific class within the code. Is that correct?
Oh wait, sorry. Let me. How about use the get my free marketing strategy instead?
Right here, the text.
Button text, yeah, the text.
Okay. And I'm tracking the element.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So that's kind of the thing that I keyed on too. That's very specific to this type of button because we have many of these on the site. Maybe I want to track all of them. That specific text is going to enable us to do that. So, okay, so we're going to back up. And what do you want me to select here? So again, we're in variables. What do you want me to go for, Neil?
Yeah, click text is okay.
Click text. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So Neil is saying, oop, I don't want to get rid of event, is saying that click text is okay. So now notice I've already clicked this. So when I get out of here and I exit, we should see click text as an available variable. Now, I want to point this out as we continue. Why don't we just have them all on? Because when I got into this, I was like, why am I limiting my options here? Why don't I just turn everything on? And then I did. Well, as it turns out, it takes a lot of computational power every single time a page loads to be tracking for all of these things. And it's going to slow down your website. So we don't want to do that. We only want to use what we need so we don't have to be hunting for every possible variable. All right, so we have a click text showing up. Okay, so Neil, what do you want to do from here? We're going to triggers and we're going to set up a trigger based on click text. Okay, so we have set up the variable in this video. Now, I want to point out variables are like Lego blocks. And in this case, we're using one block. So the one variable or the one condition is going to be the trigger. But let's say we had a more specific trigger we needed. We only want to track that button on the home page, and there's that button on every page. Then we would need to go back in here and configure something like URL. We would want to be tracking something that has to do with pages. And let's see, here we go, page URL. So that's already on. And then what we would do is when we build a trigger, we would use the click text and the page URL. So the click text only registers and fires if it's on the particular page. So you can stack these and add more and more conditions to refine the triggers and the tags that you're trying to get to fire. So in the next video, we're going to go to triggers. Neil, anything you want to add to any of that to add any clarity or additional information?
Nope, all good.
Okay. Thanks so much for being here in this video. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and set up the trigger on our first tag. We'll see you there.